welcome again to our Keeping in Touch with Sylvania United Church of Christ. Hopefully keeping our congregation informed of activities, programs, policies that are all happening as we continue to be quarantined. I want to begin this morning just by reading a quote from Hans Kuhn. Hans Kuhn was a Swiss theologian, very popular during and very helpful and resourceful during the time of Vatican II in helping reform the Catholic Church. As a matter of fact, I have several books by him right up here: The Church, On Being a Christian, Does God Exist, etc. But he wrote during this time of reform, which is kind of what I feel we're going through right now. And I just want to read you this one quote. He said, "The church must always be prepared to seek out a new path, a way that might be just as difficult to find as a desert track." And in a way, I kind of feel that's where we are right now. We're seeking out a new direction, but sometimes it's kind of hard to find that track to follow. But through trial and error, we keep trying these different tracks and hopefully find what works and what is really helpful to the people of Sylvania United Church of Christ and the wider church and the world. With that said, I'm going to call on some of our staff members, and we're also pleased to welcome today Kathy Tashima, who is chairperson of the search committee, and she also will be reporting today. But let us begin with Elaine, who works with our children's ministry, and she can bring us up to date on what is happening there.
Hi, everyone. Just a quick announcement that we will be having some form of Vacation Bible School this summer. It will most likely be online and an in-home version, but spread out potentially throughout the summer. So I just wanted to let you know, and more details will be forthcoming.
And those details will include how they can enroll and good. Okay. Thank you, Elaine. Thank you for the work you continue to do, and also in helping to set up these meetings that we have with Keeping in Touch. And now we will hear from Mary Meadows, who in my gallery is right below me, and she can talk to us about Taizé, perhaps.
Yes, there will be, this is the third Thursday of the month, so there will be a Taizé service, an email blast with the links to that on Thursday. We're also working to get some capabilities to stream from the stream and or record from the sanctuary going. Bruce Meyer has been instrumental in helping us get that set up. He's working with Chair of Trustees Chris Durand and others to make that happen. Eventually, we'll also be pulling together a team of people willing to help with that. It doesn't run by itself, apparently. So any help from others will be appreciated as we get those logistics set up. But we're hoping to be set up by the 14th, which I'm sure Kathy will tell us more, or well before the 14th. And as Kathy will share more about that.
Thank you, Mary. In that regard, this is going to be a big change in the way the worship service comes to you. And we are going to start, or our goal is to start May 31st, which also happens to be Pentecost Sunday. So on Pentecost Sunday, you're going to see an entirely different format where rather than my preparing and each of us preparing from our home, different elements of the worship, it will all take place and be recorded in the sanctuary, hopefully giving you more of a feel for worship. Now, Kristen, if you'd like to tell us what's going on in your area.
Hi, everybody. I am preaching my first sermon this coming Sunday, May 24th. I will be using the text from Galatians, which talks about neither Jew nor Greek. The title of my sermon is We Are One, and I look forward to being in conversation with you about that. I will be incorporating some highlights from my trip to Israel, Palestine that I went in January with Chicago Theological Seminary, where I'm enrolled as a Master's of Divinity student. So that's this coming Sunday. I have been working to help form small groups within our congregation so that you may connect both socially and in around faith formation topics. So if you are wanting to be a part of a small group, they are starting to come together, and I'd love to be able to plug you in, and perhaps you'd be willing to host one of those groups. And the participants as well as hosts are needed.
Thank you, Kristen. And we really look forward to hearing you this Sunday. Kristen was supposed to have done this, I think it was the Sunday before everything closed down at church. Isn't that right? Where she was to bring the service to us, and we're glad that she's going to be able to do it online, because she will also be able to incorporate pictures from her experience in the Holy Land, and we really look forward to that. Joyce, do you have anything you want to tell us?
Yeah. Hi, everybody. Be sure to check your emails. I sent out the electronic newsletter last night, and those of you who get it by mail, you should be getting that in the next few days. Little something different with the newsletter, with some suggestions that I received. I went ahead and moved forward with some changes to the newsletter, as far as putting a little bulletin area at the top of the newsletter. It'll kind of let you know what's all going to be within the body of the newsletter. So that's going to be a change. If you're not getting the newsletter electronically, please call me. Let me know if your email has changed, and I can make those changes. Other than that, that's all I have, you guys.
Okay, thank you, Joyce. And just to reiterate, the newsletter will now come out at the beginning of the week rather than the middle of the week. So all through the week, you'll be able to have these different communications from the church. Speaking of communications, I believe that on our webpage, we will be posting the procedures and guidelines that we are working with in the opening of our building. We're not saying when that will take place, but we want you to know that we've been working hard through the COVID-19 committee in establishing procedures and guidelines for when the building does open. And you can find that on our webpage. Now, we are very excited and happy to have with us today Kathy Tashima, the chairman of the search committee, and she has a report to give us regarding the search for a new minister. Kathy?
Thank you, David. I'm pleased to be here on behalf of the search committee, and you all should have received an email blast today, which outlines our candidating weekend, June 12th through 14th. And as you notice, most of it is virtual. The search committee, who represents a good cross-section of the congregation, has worked diligently since September, reading profiles, listening to online sermons, and interviewing candidates representing 12 states. So after much discernment, we are pleased to announce we unanimously endorse this senior pastor candidate. We invite you to share in the activities of the candidating weekend, which include Zooming with the candidate, a drive-by meet the candidate, and virtual worship. Members will vote following the sermon electronically. Those without email can request paper ballots. All votes are due by 4 p.m. on Sunday, June 14th. The first week of June, you will learn more about the candidate. We will be sending letters of introduction, both from the search committee and from the candidate himself. In fairness to the candidate and to his present congregation, the candidate's name must remain confidential until such time that the congregational vote is affirmative. We have the consent of the candidate to publish news of his new call here at Sylvania UCC. So you'll learn more about the candidate in the letters, which will come the first week of June. And we hope that you will participate in the candidating weekend and share in our excitement as you meet our senior pastor candidate. And please let us know if you have any questions. We'd be glad to answer them. Thank you.
We are all excited about this happening. It's been a long time, and we're really glad that this is coming to a conclusion and hopefully a new chapter in the life of our church. Kathy, I just have one question. Could you go over about the voting, because people will not be present in the sanctuary? So could you tell us again how that will take place?
Sure. So a link will be sent to you, a Zoom link, and it'll have the sermon that we've taped along with the ballot. And you will vote electronically and then send it right back to an email address that we will give you. And if you don't have email, then we will make sure you have a paper ballot and make some arrangement to have that picked up. All votes need to be in by 4 p.m. that day.
Should they request a ballot in advance if they don't have electronic hookup, or how will that happen?
There's a phone number included in today's email blast.
Oh, good. Great. Okay, good. Well, we thank you all for joining us today. This has been a short session, but that's not to say anything about the type and the quality and everything that's going on at Sylvania United Church of Christ. And we're glad that you continue to support us and to look at these videos and join us on Sunday morning. Again, as Mary mentioned, you can join us for the Taizé service this week. With all that said, we will see you next week. Thank you for joining us. Bye.